You know, I just thought I'd pick one of these up. I ain't read one of these for a long time, and the last time I bought one of these, I ended up collecting a full Master System collection. I don't think I'd want to go through that again. But as I say, I just picked it up, thought I'd give it a whirl. What's this then? The Hit Squad Collection. The complete list of all 122 titles across 7 8-bit formats. How many have you got? No. Here we go again. Hey gamers, I am CyberSnack7. Hope we're all well, guys. Back again with another video, and yes, it's starting all over again. Another full collection. Well, at least I'm going to try. But as you've seen at the beginning, this is going to be for the Hit Squad games. I'm going to be following hot on the heels of Paul Mr. Bads and Scott Sega Zombie. But my computer of choice isn't going to be the Spectrum. It's going to be the Commodore 64. Now, in total, there are 119 games. And I'm not going to lie, I've been a bit busy preparing myself for this monumental task. And I've got myself 85 games already, which leaves me only 34 to get. So I've got plenty of videos to come, which gives me plenty of opportunity to try and finish this collection. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, because like the Spectrum, there are going to be certain titles which are going to be very difficult to acquire. That is a fact. And if you've seen the thumbnail of this video, you'll notice the games in that thumbnail are probably the hardest games to find within the Commodore 64 collection. So I'm not saying I haven't got any of those already, but that'll be in later videos. We shall see. But yes, I thought I'd take on the task. I've done the t-shirt again, and this t-shirt's been pretty popular, you know, among the old Hit Squad collectors out there. But it is a good t-shirt, I've got to admit, and you've got to wear a t-shirt like this when you're collecting for the Hit Squad games. So guys, the plan is, I've got 85 games. I'm going to show you 15 games each video, and they're going to be obviously 5 games from each collection, because there's obviously 3 genres within the collection. You got the arcade collection, you got the sports collection, and you've got the movie collection. So I'll go through 5 games from each genre, each video, basically, until I get to the point where I can't show you no more, or I reach my goal and do the full set. So let's see how this goes, guys. So we'll start with the first 15, and we'll start with the movie collection first, the first 5 from the movie collection. Now, have I got them in order? I have. So let's crack on with game number 1, guys. There you go. Nearly dropping them all already. Game number 1. Love this game. Very nostalgic for me. Do have this on the original format. Played it to death when I was a kid. A commando clone. That's what I call it. Like a top-down action shooter. And of course, it is Rambo, First Blood Part 2. And this is a cracking top-down shooter. Everybody loves Rambo. Fantastic game. Rambo 3 weren't as good, but this is an excellent shooter. Sorry about the glare, guys, but this is a very good top-down shooter. I'll open up and show you the cassettes to each one. Don't know why I'm going to do it, but some of them I've got games on the both sides, some of them haven't, weirdly. But very nostalgic game for me. Absolutely loved this game back when I was a kid, and one to have in the collection. And that is, of course, game arcade number 1 for the Hit Squad collection, and that is Rambo First Blood Part 2. Right, I'll try and stick them there. There you go. Now, game number 2 is another Stallone game, but this one is absolutely terrible. It's ridiculously hard, and the movie was, it sucked, basically. And the game I'm talking about is Cobra. This is a damn awful game. Side-scrolling platform shooter. Difficult from the word go. I couldn't even get off the first level because it's that difficult. Crazy hard. Didn't understand what was going on. with it, to be honest with you, apart from the fact I was dying very, very quickly. But just like the movie, very hyped and very rubbish. The movie is absolutely terrible, saying it's so violent and this and that years ago when it came out, and it just wasn't. It was awful, the movie, and the game equally to match, unfortunately. So what I've had to add to the collection regardless, but still, if you need this kind of game, you like this game, well, fair play to you, but I hate it. But there you go, that's arcade number 2, and that is Stallone Cobra. Game number 3 is, well, it's a classic 80s movie, isn't it? And the sequel's coming out this year, which is, what, you're talking nearly 30 years later? And he don't look a day older than when he did the first one, to be honest with you. And the game I'm talking about, of course, is Top Gun. And now this is, of course, like a plane simulation fighting game. To me, it's pretty similar to the NES version as far as I'm concerned. Not that I've played the NES version, but seeing videos of it, it looks pretty familiar, to be honest with you. Much the same. Now, most of these games I have tested. Not all of them are played to give you an absolute incisive, oh, this game's brilliant, this is what it's all about. Some games I haven't played because my C64 is put away at the moment. I did have a bread bin coming, but that fell through, and I just haven't had the time to get my Commodore 64 back out again to set it up again. So some games have been tested, some games haven't been. But all the games that you've seen today have been tested and played. But anyway, Top Gun, yeah, not my style of game. Not a bad little battle simulator. It's all right for what it is. But the movie was good, at least. That's the main thing. I enjoyed the movie. But the game itself, it's so-so. It's all right. But that's game number 3 in the movie collection. And that is Top Gun. Game number 4. Now, I did enjoy these 2 films when they come out back, I think, I'm sure it was early 90s. But I did like these films. And the game, it's okay. But the films, they're okay too. But this, what I'm talking about, it's Short Circuit, Johnny 5. Now, this is like a side-scrolling slide action puzzle game where you go room to room, you got to get to different computers and you got to unlock stuff and solve puzzles. So it's very puzzly. It's a bit slow, to be honest. It's all right. It's not the greatest game in the world, but still, the films were very good. I did enjoy the films back in the day. So that's movie number 4. That is Short Circuit. Did I show you the tape? I've got to show you the tape for each one. There you go, Short Circuit. Now this one, obviously, it's got nothing on the back. Sometimes they've got dual sides, sometimes they haven't, which is strange. Okay. Final one in the movie selection. And this game was shown on Paul Mr. Bad's video of his last Hit Squad Collection games. And I got to admit, this is the first time I've ever played this game. And it's not a bad game. There's multiple routes, multiple ways to do this game. You can do it the old-fashioned way. And as he said, run to the fence, cut yourself out, go and you've done the game. Or you can do it complex, do it properly and take your time with it. Now, you're wondering what I'm talking about, of course. And that game is called The Great Escape. World War II game, top-down view. As I say, there's multiple ways to do this game. You can do it properly, collect all the tools and do certain things at certain times for your escape to be spot on. Make it a bit more difficult for you. Or you can, as I say, run to the fence, cut through the fence and go for it. And he said he did that once. He's never done it again. I've not done it at all. I got lost. I didn't know what I was doing. I couldn't work it out for toffee, to be honest with you, when I played this. But still, a very, very good game. A nice one to have in the collection. So that is movie number 5. And that is The Great Escape. Okay, so that's the first 5. That's your first 5 movie. We'll move on now to arcade. Now, obviously, at the moment, I will tell you if any of these were hard to find or difficult to get. And with these 15, I've got to say, all of them were fairly straightforward to pick up, to be honest with you, and not overly priced. But if I do get to that point where I've fell on it by chance, or I found it difficult to get, or I picked it up and I've never seen it since, I will let you know. So, game number 1 in the arcade collection. Game number 1 is a classic arcade game for me. Absolutely love this bike game back in the day. And when I get the chance to play, I will play it again. And that is, of course, the classic Enduro Racer, the motorbike arcade game. Not a bad conversion of this game. Really plays quite well. Difficult as you would, and most 64 games are. But there you go. The nice gold label variant this time round. And there's Vic barking downstairs. I think there's somebody by the door, but there's not. Anywho, yeah, Enduro Racer. Classic bike game. Definitely equals up to the likes of Hang On for me. Really love the old arcade game. So you have to lift the bike up to do wheelies and jump over big massive jumps and that. I really enjoy that game. But still a great conversion for the 64. And that is, of course, Enduro Racer. Game number 2. Game number 2 for arcade. Yeah, I am on the arcade. I'll just double check there. Game number 2 for the arcade is an absolute classic game. Multi-format game. Everybody's played this game. And everybody loves the arcade. I love this. I played it to death when I was a kid. I actually completed it a few times on the Commodore 64. And that is the classic Green Beret. This game is absolutely awesome. I love the music. I especially love when you're uploading this game. The screen comes up and the music for the C64, some of the loading screens are absolutely amazing. Now, not all the Hit Squad games have the original upload music. Some just load plainly and like in a few minutes just have this line go across. It's silly really, but some have the original title screen and the music, and this one is one of them. And I'll just crank it up and just blast it because the music is absolutely awesome. But there you go, another one with nothing on the back. But as I say, absolutely fantastic game, a legendary side-scrolling platform action game. Nobody I think I've talked to would not have played this game back in the day. It's absolutely awesome. So that's arcade number 2, and that is Green Beret. Arcade number 3 is a game I've loaded up, I haven't played, so I'll just go straight into it, and it is Crazy Cars. Now this, to me, as I say, it looks a bit like a bit of a Outrun clone. Not too sure how it plays, I've got to be honest with you. But I know it loads up, that's the main thing. But there you go, there's the gold variant again, nothing on the back. But yeah, the game itself, it's fully loaded. But to me, as I say, it just looks like it's a bit of an Outrun clone. That's all I can really tell you about it, to be honest with you. But still, a game I've added to the collection, and that is arcade number 3, and that is Crazy Cars. Arcade number 4 is a platforming shooter. Never really played until I actually got this variant. I never played it originally back in the day, and it's quite a confusing game to get your head around for me. But obviously once I get my head around the mechanic of the game, it'll probably be an enjoyable game. That is whizzball. And this is, as I say, it's a very strange platforming shooter where you're like a ball bouncing around and you've got to collect certain items and you get different like weapons that shoots in different directions and that. And I'm not too sure how this game really plays. So you down pipes and go to different zones and that. So I haven't got my head around the mechanics of how this plays. So once I do, hopefully the game will be enjoyable. But still, not a bad little game. It is quite a popular game among the collectors, apparently. This is quite a good game to have. So I will get my teeth into this one of the days and give this a go. Looks like a giant Sprite, if you ask me. But there you go. But there you go. That's arcade number 4, and that is whizzball. And the final game in the arcade collection is another absolute classic game. Multi-format across the board. Even up into modern systems, of course. But the arcade is a classic. Format don't change on whatever version you get. And of course it's Rampage, which is technically a smash 'em up, where you have 3 main monsters and you just basically smash as many buildings as you can, eat as many people as you can, and cause as much destruction as possible. That is that in a nutshell, to be honest with you. But as I say, it's a classic game. Really plays well on all formats, no matter what you play it on, to be honest with you. So straightforward, easy to find, and a really good quality game to play. And that is arcade number 5, and that's Rampage. Okay, the final 5, guys, and this is going to be the sports collection. Not my favourite by any means. There are a couple of great sports games in here, but there are a lot of games I really just have no interest in, but it's part of the collection and I've got to collect the sports games regardless. So The first 5 are as follows. So game number 1 is a nostalgic game for me. When I very first played this, I played it on the Spectrum, funnily enough. My mate had it on the Spectrum and I really enjoyed it then. And getting it back today, playing it on the 64 instead of the Spectrum, it still had that good vibe, still was enjoyable. It took me back, gave me a bit of a nostalgia kick, and I really enjoyed playing it. And back in the day, this guy was the business in sports world, and we're talking about Daley Thompson's Decathlon. A fantastic game. Of course, you got all your events, your long jump, your high jump, your 100 meters javelin, you name it, it's in there. But this guy back in the 80s was the man in terms of doing the decathlon and the great sports that he did and that. But fantastic title, loved it back in the day on the Spectrum, and I enjoyed it just as much playing it on the C64, to be honest with you. So that's sports number 1, and that is Daley Thompson's Decathlon. Sports number 2. Now, sports number 2 confused the hell out of me. I had to double check this. I got my glasses on and had a look at it. I said, I think I've got this in the wrong one. This should be arcade. You know what? I'm going to do it again. Don't laugh. I've got to wear these because I've got old eyes nowadays, guys. And it's sports. I just don't understand. I don't understand why this is in sports to me. This should not be in sports. This should be in arcade. But regardless of that, it's sports number 2. And it is Ye Are Kung Fu. A one-on-one fighter. A very classic one-on-one fighter. Absolutely awesome game. You are like a Bruce Lee character. And of course, you have to fight different... it's like a boss rush. One after another, all different styles of karate, all have different weapons, all have different styles. You just got to basically suss out their style and beat them, basically. But such a classic game. Never played the second one, weirdly. But I can't get my head around why this is in sports. Don't understand it. This should be an arcade game, as far as I'm concerned. But regardless, it's sports number 2. And it is the classic Ye Are Kung Fu. Sports number 3 is one of a few tennis games, to be honest with you, I think, as far as I'm concerned. No doubt we'll see another one. But it is Match Point. Now, this one is just a run-of-the-mill tennis game. Not a bad tennis game. Not as good as on-court tennis for the C64. That is my favourite tennis game. But this one is one of those ones, funny enough, where I've bought it and I haven't not seen it since. I've not seen it since. In the last few months I've been collecting. It's one of those that's very, very obscure. Not easy to come across. Or I've seen again since. So I'm really happy to have picked that one up. But standard tennis game. Tennis is tennis. We all know what tennis is. But yeah, one of them games that have been quite difficult to find or come across again, to be honest. So that's sports number 3. And that's Match Point. Sports number 4. Sports number 4. I bought this back in the day. Absolutely loved the game. Got the original in the back there. And to get this again, I absolutely love the music, the loading up music. US Gold music for me back in the day was really good. I loved the US Gold music. And but this is an American sports game. No, it's not American football. It's World Series Baseball. Now, I loved this game back in the day when I first bought it on the C64. As I say, I got the original in the back. Love this game. Fantastic baseball game. Really, really enjoyed this. And putting it back on, brought back the nostalgia yet again of playing this game when I very first had it, when I first got my Commodore 64. Because my dad took me, I got my Commodore 64 and he took me to Woolworths. Remember the old Woolworths, guys? That's where you got your main Specky games and your Commodore 64 games. And he goes, right, okay, son, pick 5 games, and on-court tennis was one. World Series Baseball was one. I can't remember the other 3 though, but these to stick out, believe it or not. But fantastic game. Loved this game back as a kid, and still enjoy it today. Put it on, just brought a smile to my face playing this again. Really, really enjoyed that. So that's sports number 4, guys. That's World Series Baseball. And then last but not least is the best sports game, without question, on the C64. The music is the best loading up music on any game I've ever bought. I just absolutely love the game. It's a game of loved ever since I got it. And this is actually one of the 5 I got from Woolworths. There you go. I've remembered another one, thankfully. But this is an absolute classic on the 64 as far as I'm concerned. But it is Hyper Sports. Absolutely fantastic game. This is easily the best sports game for me on the 64. And aside that, the loading up music, I love it. Absolutely love it. Definitely a crank up and enjoy the music time when you play this one. Absolutely fantastic game. But load of great events. You know, it's easy to, you know, you do it once, you do it again. It does get tough, believe me. But it's just a game I could put on and have a great big smile on my face and enjoy this game over and over and over again. Definitely, easily one of my top 3 games on the C64, without a doubt. An absolute classic. So there, guys, is sports number 5. So, the collection begins, guys. There's your first 15. It's going to be an interesting ride over the next few months. I know I've got another 2 coming. So I'll just pick as I go along. There's possibly another 5 I could pick up without question. I just can get them easy. I've come across a couple of heavy hitters and they are difficult to find. Or not difficult to find, difficult to get because they ain't cheap, put it that way. But that's a challenge for the future. But at the moment, I can breathe easy. I've got plenty of games to show you guys. And as I say, let's enjoy the ride and see where we go with this collection. But it's going to be an interesting one. So thanks for watching the first episode, guys. I will be back with another 15. I'll do this monthly, I think, which will give me plenty of time to catch up and try and get the rest of these games if I can. And it'll give you something to look forward to, hopefully. Hopefully you'll enjoy this collection as I collect it, as well as I'm going to enjoy it. So thanks for watching, guys. And I will leave it here. And as per usual, and as always, I am CyberSnake7. Keep playing, guys. And remember, always keep watching. All the best.